Hey, it's a loaf of lava. Lay it out with Dr. John Peterson here. TE2 Edge Sports Cards coming at you live and direct from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Well, it's been about 3 weeks since I've done any content, and I thought I'd do a hobby mornings with Dr. John. Been busy. Had a surgery a couple weeks ago, which went well. It was a successful surgery. It was on my left leg. Overall been busy with family and work, of course, and still doing cards, but I haven't had any PSA reveals. And just been busy with different stuff. So if you're interested in checking out this Hobby Mornings with Dr. John, a quick highlight will be we're going to review the final analysis of the South Dakota Collection, and I'll show you some cards. Check it out.
TE2 Edge Sports Cards. Get at it.
All right, let's get started here. Just a little back history to the South Dakota Collection, which I made a reference to in the intro. Back in March, I think it was, of this year, I picked up a collection from South Dakota, and actually it was in a couple of different collections, couple of different lots. The first lot was Jordan and Kobe. And then the second lot was kind of everyone else. And then the third lot was kind of a end of the collection, Jordan lot of about 325 cards, mostly lower end stuff. I am about to get that back. There were 31 cards of the 320 some. And I should have that, the grades drop in the next couple days. For some reason, it's been in QA check 2, QHX2 with PSA for, it seems like it's been almost 10 days. It was in assembly for about 2 weeks, and then QA check 2 for about 10 days, a week or so. So I don't know, hopefully get that back relatively soon. I think the estimated completion date is November 10th, but I'm hoping they get those grades out to me on the PSA platform this week, and then I'll get those cards in hand hopefully next week. And then I can do a PSA reveal and let you know how I did relative to that back end of the South Dakota Collection. But the big chunk of the collection was, close to 200 raw cards that I sent into PSA in 4 main orders. There were a couple of orders that had autos in them, so it took me a while to get those back and finally do the analysis for the South Dakota Collection. So let me take out this paper and show you how I did. I know this is in some ways old news for folks, but if you're not familiar, this is how I do my pre-grading, estimating, predicting, whatever you want to call it. Let me see if I can get this off here so you can see this. So the South Dakota Collection, so I do this all on pen and paper, and then I transfer it over to Google Excel, whatever you want to call it, Google Sheets. And I do that for accounting purposes at the end of the year. So this was done on 10/19/2025. So there were 205 cards that were sent in. Of those 205 cards, 96 got graded at $20 a card. The total final grading fee was just under $4,000, which you can see here. The total final shipping fee was about $350. The best part about this collection is that all the cards were purchased at right around 75 cents per card, which was amazing. And give thanks to the Most High for that, and give thanks to the person that sold the cards for selling them to me at such a good cost basis. So it was about $150 to $200 for all the cards. Now, I paid $2,400 for the lot, and like I said, 205 of those cards I sent in for grading. So, I've got a lot of those cards left that I still need to move. but I have sold a fair amount of those already. You can see the total final outlay was $44.20. I had the estimated value at $18,290. It was actually higher because there were 9 cards that didn't get graded. So it was closer to about 19,800. If I recall, it was just under 20,000 was the estimated value. But some of the cards that didn't get graded were slightly bigger cards. One of them was a Shaq 96 Topps Gallery private issue. So it didn't get graded, unfortunately. You can see that I had the estimated profit at $12,520. What's really cool about this is that I came really close to spot on with my predictions. So the final value I had at $18,640, which was plus 2% over the estimated value. And I had the final profit at $12,840, which was about 2.5% over the estimated profit, which is right here. So, man, I came really close, as they say, right on the nuts, or pretty much right on the nuts. I had 196 total cards that were graded. Of those 196, 18%, or 35 out of 196, were undergraded. That's what the 2 pluses mean. 85 of the 196 were correctly graded, pre-graded. My pre-grade was the same as the final grade. So about 61% of all the cards, get my hand out of the way so you can see that, 61% of all the cards were either overgraded, undergraded, or correctly graded. And then I overgraded 76 of the 196. So the overgrade percentage was 39%. 10 cards were unsold as of 10/19/2025. So sometimes people ask, well, how long does it take you to move those cards? Well, like I said, I've got, as of what I say, 10/19, so a little over a week ago, I had the vast majority of those cards sold. So that gives you kind of an idea how things ended up with the South Dakota Collection. I'm super pleased. I don't think I could have gotten much closer than I did. And overall, I thought it went really well. It took a while. It was nice that the cards were at $20 rather than the current rates, which are pretty high comparative to how long it's taking for stuff to get graded. I just saw the gem rate data from Ryan, who's the guy that does all the gem rate aggregating and then disaggregating of the data, and a PSA graded 1.9 million cards last month, 700,000 of which were sports, and then the other remaining 1.2 to 1.3 million were 1.4 million were Pokemon. So how are we doing on the year here? Let's take a look. There have been 13 total orders this year. This is the that's order number 13. So this is not the South Dakota Collection order. So let's go to this. Excuse me. This is the aggregated data right here. So the yearly data I have had at an estimated profit of $34,700. So of these 13 orders, I've estimated the profit to be just under $35,000. The final profit, which is representative of what would happen if I sold every single card that has been graded, out of the 13 orders, is around $28,340. So I'm off by about 19%. I'm short 19% to the negative on the year for the delta between the estimated profit and the final profit. Overall, though, I don't think that's too bad. I think that, this is really the first year that I've done this type of analysis. And there's always a learning curve with that. So that's what I know about the South Dakota Collection and the final analysis, and then kind of where we're at for the year. I think I did the accounting about a week and a half ago. I think I've sold over 100,000 gross receipts. Obviously, that's not profit. I haven't calculated the profit for everything quite yet. And I've bought a fair amount too. So, yeah, just keeping track of things and how we're doing with that is important. Let's go to look at some cards here. I'm kind of going back and forth with the camera here, so I apologize. Kind of got a bad shadow there. So a couple things. I picked up a collection of raw Kobe's, some graded Kobe's, some raw Jordan, and some graded Jordan, and then some kind of miscellaneous type cards from a gentleman in Southeast Asia, and that was a few weeks back, maybe even a month ago. Picked up that collection, sold pretty much all of the graded stuff. There were some Kobe refractors in there, and I apologize for not doing a video on it. This is what's left of what has not been sold or sent in for grading. Actually, let's go here first. So everything that I sent in, I did a pre-grade sheet. Actually, that's right over here. I can share this with you guys so you get a sense of what got sent in. I just called it the Southeast Asia sub. 28 cards at $112 a card. So the cards were more expensive this time. $31.35, but they were higher value cards too. In terms of the grading fee, I did go with $45. I think that's value plus, if I'm not mistaken, with PSA. So yeah, I don't want to wait for 3.5, 4 months to get the cards back, because I've got shows coming up in November, December, and January, and I'd like to get these cards back. I write the grading fee costs off as a cost of goods sold, so it's not as big of an issue for me as a dealer and business owner as it is for a collector. For a collector, $45 a card is expensive. So I recognize that. I'm fortunate that I'm doing this as a business. Shipping, $75. Total outlay, $44.70. I estimate the value to be around $9,500, and I estimate the profit to be just under $4,000. So we'll see how that turns out, but that's the Southeast Asia sub. So there were 28 cards, 28 raw cards, pretty much all Kobe and a few Jordans. This is what's left of that lot collection, whatever you'd like to call it. So got this LEBRON. These are cards that it didn't make sense to send them in at $45, so these will come back at the $21 rate. I just didn't think, based on the pre-grade, it would make sense to send these in. That's some decent Kobe's, but nothing that's going to be worth sending in at $45. I did get a couple boxes of Bowman's Best here. This is going on a few months back. And I pulled out a few cards. I think I may have shown some of these. If not, I'm sorry about that. Pulled out some of these base Kobe's. Actually pulled out a franchise best of Jordan. I was thinking back to some of the live videos that I've done in the past of breaking some product, and I thought of Greeley and just that kind of string or run of Jordans that I hit 2 summers ago. So when I pulled this, I had to chuckle a little bit. And then, believe it or not, I pulled this Fusion, which is numbered to 100, of Duncan and Malone. This was a pretty tough pull. I mean, it's like one in, I don't even know, the refractors, one in however many hundreds of packs. So I was pretty excited to pull that. I think that's a Duncan second year or first year. So this was 98 Bowman, probably second year. So we'll see how that does. So I'll send these into PSA, but I'm going to send them in at like the $21, maybe $24 level. It's going to take a while to get them back, but Don't want to lose too much on the grading fee to send these cards in. Then I had some kind of mishmash, that's what I'll call it, hodgepodge, whatever, stuff that for whatever reason PSA didn't grade it. So I'm going to try my hand at BGS, excuse me, not BVG. Yeah, for whatever reason these were min size. This one came back as min size. I think they scratched this one if you saw that video a couple weeks back. That came back as min size. And then this one, I bought a box of 93-94 Upper Deck Special Edition Eastern Conference. Opened up that box last night. Got it off of Facebook Marketplace for a couple $100. I thought it'd just be fun to rip it. And pulled this Pippin. You can see there's white on the bottom left corner. So rather than send it to PSA and get a 9, it was like a $50 card, figured I'd send it to BGS and give a shot there and see if I can get a 9.5. So that's those. Those are going to BGS. Then we've got a few from that same 93-94 Upper Deck Select or Upper Deck Special Edition. So I actually pulled a Kilroy last night. So this is one in, you get one of these like 1 in 172. There's 2 of them. I think it's 1 in 144 packs. So again, the Jordan run kind of continues or is restarting or whatever you want to call it. I mean, I was shocked to get this card. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to come back as a 10. You can see there's white there. But what a fun card. The old Johnny Kilroy. Fun card. And, yeah, so I'm thinking, maybe a PSA 9. I'll send that into PSA. Pulled the Penny Electric Court. You can see Electric Court down there. Sorry about the glare. So it's about 100. Actually, no, in a 10, this is like a $350 card, if I'm not mistaken. So hoping for a 10 on that. Here's the Weber Rookie Electric Court. Hoping for a 10 on that. That's about 160. And then these 2 kind of inserts. These are both Electric Courts. Pulled 2 of them, so figured I'd give those a shot too. Those come back as 10s. They might be around $100. So that's another little mini order that I'm sending into PSA. Then I went back into some boxes and I found some stuff from 2023. I had bought 3 cases of 2022 Bowman University Chrome. Opened up 2. I was looking for Wemby, of course. And opened up 2 and sold 1. Doubled my money on the one that I sold. So it paid for one of the cases. So it ended up working okay. But I found a bunch of base Caitlin Clark rookie cards. So you can see there was quite a few of them. I had no recollection that I had these. So I'm going to send these in at the base level, the lowest level, probably value, bulk, because she's not going to be doing anything for a number of months. But I'm going to hope that she comes back healthy. And Indiana's got a good team. Aaliyah Boston's a nice player. I mean, they got some nice players on Indiana. I don't follow the WNBA quite a lot, but I think they'll be pretty good this year. I think they made the conference finals this year, if I'm not mistaken. So if she can stay healthy, I think they could win a title next year. If she can stay healthy, that's the big if. I also picked up, per the usual, some Matas Buzelis, or as they say, Matas Buzelis. I guess his name is Matas Buzelis. That's how you pronounce it. I've been calling him Matas Buzelis. Picked up these 3 gold lavas. I think these were like probably $35-40 a piece. And these come from Bowman University Best, if I'm thinking correctly. In 2023, there was Bowman University Chrome, There was Bowman University Best, and then there was Bowman Inception. So that'll be its own separate PSA order. Again, I plan to do probably value bulk on that. No need to get these back in a super fast way. And the Caitlins, I think, what do they go for? 125 to 150, 175, depending on buy it now or auction on eBay. They did go as high as 300 at the peak. This is going on about a year and a half ago. So we got those. And then finally, I ended up buying a few cases of Bowman Inception from David Adams. And I figured I'd show you a little bit of what I pulled out of that. I like the Bowman. What the heck? I was watching Cajun Cardboard earlier, and I hit the space bar on my keyboard, and that's what caused the Cajun video to start. So I apologize for that. That was kind of funny. I was like, what in the hell is that? That's classic. Yeah, I like watching Cajun. He's an entertaining guy, and of course I get a lot of my Jordan information from Cajun, so he's a good dude. Brian from Baton Rouge. So the Inception product came out in, end of the first quarter of 2023, I believe. Maybe it was 2022. I think it was 2022. Yeah. But I don't think it was available for sale until a little bit later. It's the first product that had Wemby and Caitlin Clark autos. And so I just think the design is really cool. I've always been a fan of it, but I've never really bought any boxes or cases or anything like that. So spent some of the money that I picked up from the South Dakota Collection and put it into some of this Inception. Now, of course, when you open boxes and cases, it's a losing proposition. Sometimes you'll maybe get lucky to break even, but usually you're losing. ROI is pretty low. What can I say about the product? There's 16 boxes in a case. There are 7 cards per box. You get 1 pack in a box. You're guaranteed 2 autos and a numbered card, and then 4 base cards. The checklist, the base checklist is 100, but the insert checklist is 190. So there's a lot of junk you got to go through. A lot of guys and gals too, that just played college ball but didn't pan out. It's also multi-sport, so you get both football and basketball. 2022 Inception Baseball was a standalone product, so there's no baseball in this, but this will give you a sense of kind of what I pulled out of some of those cases. So these Caitlin Clarks are the base. This is what the base looks like. It's not foil. I think it's iconic. Caitlin in the Iowa jersey and uniform is still very iconic. So no issue with trying to move these and, get some profit off of these or get some value back. These are about 125 in a PSA 10. Hit quite a few of the base Caitlins. I was pretty happy with this. Excuse me. And then this is the numbered one. You can see it's numbered to 75. This is in a PSA 10, and the gem rate on these are pretty high. I think the gem rates tend to be around 75 to 85%. On all the Inception stuff. I mean, it came out as a really clean product. It's got no specific type of border to it, but I think in a PSA 10, that's about a $600 card. You can see it's got a little refracting on it. The refraction isn't the greatest, but it's still a cool looking card, I think. So, yeah. So the number of cards are 299, 199, 99. I think the blues are 99. The fuchsia, this is a fuchsia, are 75. The golds are 50. Oranges are 25. Black is 10. red is 5, and foil fractor is 1 of 1. The case hit is called primordial, and you get one of those per case, and I think those are numbered 99, 50, 25, 5, and 1, if I'm not mistaken. I think you can get a primordial 1 of 1. So Jordan Addison, he plays for the Vikings. That's what an orange looks like, numbered to 25. So C.J. Stroud, unfortunately, he got hurt this weekend. It's a gold number to 50. Oh, the gold, there's 2 versions. There's version 1 and there's version 2. The one on the left of Dylan Gabriel, that's a V1. And the one on the right is a C.J. Stroud V2. He's decent. He plays for the Browns. Probably not a super big card, but figured I'd send it in. Why not? And Brandon Miller, he got hurt. Shoulder, subluxation, I think. Dislocation or something like that in the first couple games. He is such a nice player for the Hornets. The Hornets actually are pretty good when they have him on the team. Healthy, but yeah, he got injured last year, so I'm hoping he can come back. That's a nice card there. This guy is hot. His play, man, they're 7-2. The Broncos are in the West, and he's looking like a Pro Bowler. So I figured I'd get that one graded. There's another Bo Nix. I thought that's a really cool card. The blue and the green looks great. It's numbered to 99. Caleb Williams, of course. Bears are doing pretty good. They won on Sunday night. Jackson Dart, he's also kind of a hot player, you know. I think he's a rookie this year, if I'm not mistaken. This is a number to 299, so a little higher number. Oh, 199, excuse me. These are kind of like the Aqua, I think, 199. And then the Jackson Smith and Jigba. This guy's a really nice player. He's having a great season for, I think, the Seattle Seahawks. So those are some of the numbered cards from the inception. This gives you a sense of what that's like. And then I'll show you some of the autos. Get these organized here so you can see. Sorry for the delay. Just want to get things kind of moved around here. Okay, so the next group, these would be the autos. So like I said, you get 2 autos per box. You get 7 cards per box or per pack, 1 pack per box. So this is the base auto for Inception. It's a Knicks. I picked up 2 of those. These go for, I don't know, the base, $200-$300 and a PSA 10. Ty Simpson, he's a quarterback for Alabama currently. I think he's got like 20 touchdowns and 1 interception. Alabama's actually doing pretty well this year. I think he's a big reason why, so I figured I'd get that graded. We got Kel Ware. I think Kel Ware, is he with Orlando? I can't remember. He's a 7-footer. And I think he averaged 13 to 14, 15 last year, so as a rookie. So I figured I'd get his 2 base rookies or base autos graded. Got a Madas. That's the base. Here's a Juju Watkins. She got injured, I think, last year, but I think she'll be back. That's a base. This is a blue, numbered to 99 of Juju. $800 card in a PSA 10. 6, 7, 800, somewhere in there. Here's a Primordial. I know this guy AR is not doing. He's not starting. He's sitting, he's backing up Daniel Jones, but I think he's going to be okay. I don't know. Figured I'd give this a shot. Again, the Primordial is a case hit, so this one's numbered to 99. But then I pulled another one of these, and this one's numbered to 75, so I figured I'd give this a shot in the hopes that maybe he lands on a team where he can start. This guy's having a really good season. Bijan Robinson is kind of a all-purpose type guy. Usually gets 50 to 75 yards rushing, and then another 25 to 50 yards receiving per game. So he's in that 120 to 150 yards per game all-purpose for the Falcons. That one's numbered to 99. This is what a gold primordial looks like. Pretty cool looking card. This is Lively, of course. It's with the Mavericks. Since Luka's left, I don't think he's done a ton, but figured I'd get that graded. If it comes back into 10, I think it's like a $200 card. This is the one I'm really excited about. This is the Njigba, numbered to 50. So it's the gold primordial again. I think this is probably 350, 300 raw. So this comes back into 10. I think it's a $1,200 card. 1,000 to 1,200. I failed to mention that you do get patch autos. Relics, I think they call them. Patch relics or something like that. This is the Xavier Worthy. He plays for the Chiefs, and I think he ran like one of the fastest, if not the fastest, 40 times at the Combine in the history of the Combine. So it's numbered to 199, so it's not going to be worth a ton, but I figured I'd get that graded. Then you get these dual relics, I think that's what they call them. These are really cool. I mean, it refracts. It's got auto. And it's got super cool patches. Look at this. Carolina Tar Heels. So this is a Baycott. I think he's playing in Europe right now. At least he was. And then Caleb Love. I can't remember what roster Caleb Love is on. A few Final Fours ago, a few Final Fours ago when Caleb Love was still with the Tar Heels, he played really well. And then went to Arizona. So this one's numbered to 5. Or no, is this 6? No, 5 of 5. Yeah, it's 5 of 5. So probably not a super valuable card based on the players, but still numbered to 5. I don't know. Somebody will pick that up if it comes back into 10. Here's an Arizona or Arkansas. This is Jordan Black. He plays for Orlando. I think he's currently the point guard or 2 guard over there. Suggs still isn't back, so he's getting good minutes. And then Jordan Walsh, last I heard, he was with the Celtics. I don't think he's doing much. So this one's numbered to 25, so that's an orange. This is a cool one. This is Bijan Robinson and Jaleel Billingsley. I don't know much about Billingsley. This one is also an orange, numbered to 25. This is 25 of 25. This is the one I'm really excited about. This is a Caleb Williams and a Bryce Young, numbered to 50, so it's a gold. The autos look pretty good, so I'll get the auto graded and the card graded on this. But I thought it looked really good. Yeah, I think this comes back as a 10. I think it's probably $400 or $500 card. The Panthers beat the Packers on Sunday. I didn't think Bryce Young looked amazing, but played well enough to win the game. And the Bears actually look halfway decent this year. I think Williams is a pretty solid quarterback. I don't think he's, I don't know if he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But I think the talent's there, for sure. This last Saturday night, I was opening up the last of the Inception and watching the baseball game, and I opened up a pack and I saw that there was a red in one of the packs, and the reds are numbered to 5, and they're really tough to pull. But as I slowly revealed the card, I found out that it was a Caitlin Clark. So I pulled a Caitlin Clark red, 4 of 5. Auto looks really good. I don't see any streaking on the auto. I don't know if you can see that. And I was kind of dumbfounded that I pulled this. These are really tough to pull, these reds. And again, the checklist is 190. And then you've got numbered to 299, 199, 99, 50, 25, 10, 5, 5, and 1. So to pull a red of Caitlin Clark, it's kind of like finding a needle in the haystack. I was not expecting this. I think this is probably Raw value, bottom at least 2,000, I think. If there's some hype around her, I think the raw value could be closer to 3, maybe 4. It comes back as a PSA 10. I think this, Greeley, I was texting with him on Facebook Messenger. He was thinking maybe pushing 10,000. It looks like one of these sold a little over a year ago for about $5,000 in a PSA 10 and Auto 10. Obviously, the market's up significantly. What's the market up 30% in the last year? And she didn't play really much this year. Played well, but didn't play the full season because she got injured. So I think what I'll do is I'll get this graded and then just sit on it and wait for the hype to build up a little bit next year. Hopefully she stays healthy. And, at one point last year, she was, the hottest card in the industry and in the hobby. Wemby was down. Jordan and Kobe were still kind of making their way up in their push. And Caitlin Clark stuff just went wild in the early spring and winter. So I think the fan base and the collector base with Caitlin Clark stuff is pretty broad because, you're tapping into the female, the women, the ladies, the young girls who love Caitlin Clark. So I don't know, man. I think if this comes back as a 10-10, we could be sitting on close to $10,000 on this card. It's the biggest pull that I've ever had, and in the 45 years that I've been a collector. I got a little bit more here. I know this is kind of turning into a long video. I apologize, but figured it's been 3 weeks, so figured I'd show you some stuff. Here are some of the Kobe's that I will not send in for grading. So nothing huge in here, but, if you're at the card show, I'm going to be at the Brooklyn Center card show on the 15th, which is a little under 2 weeks. So if you're interested in picking some of these raw Kobe's up, stop on by the table. I don't know, there was only so much that you can send in for grading. Thought these looked pretty clean. They're not all super clean, but you can take a look and see if there's anything. This is a really cool card. Not a super valuable card. Wouldn't make sense to send it in for like $45, but maybe if you're interested in value bulk, it's possibly that you could send that in. There's the Fresh Foundation from Metal, 96. It's the upper deck. There were 2 of these. One was a gold. I did send that one in for grading to PSA. That's the non-gold. Metal Edge. Apprentices. Got a few of these Bowman's Best. You can see that there's just like disintegration of the print around his name. So these probably won't sell I won't price those very high. But still, they're rookies. And then the all rookie from Fleer Ultra, and then another one of the Encores. Well, this is the gold medallion. I didn't realize that. I'd have to set that one aside and see if I can send that one in. I didn't realize that was the gold. So you got some Kobe's there. And then I know this isn't it's kind of a hodgepodge video here this morning, but like I said, I haven't been on camera in about 3 weeks, and figured I would just knock out as much of this stuff as I possibly can. Of course, I'll get a PSA reveal here in the next week or so going, because I'll get that order of 31 cards back from it's kind of like the 3rd installment of the South Dakota Collection. But I did pick up a few cards, even though this isn't a modest Monday. So I picked up this off of eBay. This is numbered to 10. So this is from Bowman University Best. This is a Buzelis. So this is a red refractor. I don't like the way the Bulls are using him right now. The whole offense seems to be focused on Giddey, which is fine. Giddey's a great player. But they're not running any specific plays for Buzelis. The points he gets are basically just random. You got Patrick Williams. He's not good. Isaac Okoro. He's bad. He has no offensive bag. Okoro has no offense. He's no offense. He's terrible, and he starts. You got Tyus Jones. He's okay. But a lot of these cats don't throw the ball to Buzelis. So I think Billy Donovan had better get his head out of his butt and start making Buzelis more of a focal point for the Bulls. Because I think Buzelis is the franchise. I mean, he touches the ball and he scores. So I don't know. I've been kind of disappointed. I watched a number of Bulls. Now they are 5-1. So what they've been doing has been working. So you can't be too critical of them. But I would just like to see them get this guy more involved. He's a stud. Here's another Buzelis. This one's numbered to 50. So this is the third one of these that I have. Just kind of loading up on Buzelis. PSA 10 auto. These cards are, if he explodes, I mean, his silver prisms are going for like $500-600 in a PSA 10 right now. This one was a little spendier, but I did pick this up. This is like the Caitlin Clark. This is a red, numbered to 5. This is the V1. The Caitlin's also a V1. And you can tell it's V1 because that blue circle, concentric circle, is thicker. It's a pretty big card. So, I don't know, I had to have it. I had to have it. And then this is the biggest pickup I've made in the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Probably actually in quite a while. I didn't realize this guy was in China. But the night before the season opener, before the Spurs played, actually the night of. So let me dial this back. I've had some success picking things up like right before games, important games, or, right in the morning on the heels of a guy scoring 50 plus in a game. Did that with Shea a couple times last year before the cards kind of spike up that next day. But picked this up a few hours before Wemby did 40 and 15 in the home opener. And this is a sweet, sweet card. So again, this is Inception. It's a gold, numbered to 50. Obviously the grades are 10-10. But the thing I really like about this is that this is, other than it's Wemby and that it's an auto and it's 10-10, is that it's the version 2. The V2 golds were inserted into Inception at a lower rate, insertion rate. And so to find a V2 in a 10-10, number to 50, I think is pretty amazing. I don't think there are too many of these out there. I think there are just a few that have been graded 10-10. I don't even know how many of the V2s are available. I know there's more V1s than V2s. So I'll sit on this for a while and hope the Wemby hype builds and builds and builds. Of course, I've also got this one, which you've probably seen. This is the Pristine 10. I've had this now for how many years? 2-3 years? August of 23 is when I picked this up, I think. So a couple of years, a little over 2 years. So together, these are my big Wemby cards. I don't have any other Wemby cards other than these two. But I'm pretty happy that I've got these two. And, he's getting double teamed a lot. Super frustrated with his, he was super frustrated with his play last night. He only scored like 9 points. Still had like 14 rebounds and 4 or 5 blocks. So there is that as well. But they're double teaming him pretty much instantly when he gets the ball. But he'll figure it out. They'll get it worked out. The Spurs are a good team. All right, folks. That's what I got for you. That's a long video, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And I hope you all stay blessed and have a wonderful day and week. Peace out. One love.